welcome to our last series semi-final. Our final 8 machines are geared up and ready to prove their worth for the grand final. So let's head to the Battleboard and see the lineup. And the second semi-finals looks to be about as destructive as the last semi-finals, with Spawn again with the CO2 flipper taking on the 12th seed's Peach with the flipping wedge and spinning blade. Aegis with their own CO2 powered flipper against this lethal flywheel of Hypnodisc. Hive Mind, the only newcomer in the semi-finals, with their spinning bar taking on the ramming force of Bunker, seed number 16. And then the Dutch Machine, seed number 27, Vumitford with their spinning blade against the spinning egg beater of Diamond Cutter. Now let's get stuck in and let the wars begin! Spawn again! Flipper! They nearly made it past the heats in Series 1 until they crashed out to Razor. This time they've gotten beyond the heat final into the semis and seem stronger this series. The Flipper seems a lot stronger this wars, and they may actually be able to go further and even make the grand finals. Time will tell, but I can tell you that the team's happy enough to have made it here, and any further will be an added bonus. Peach! Spinner! They've done very well in making the semi-finals. They look like they could have done so in the last wars if not for Sub-Zero throwing them out. The blade is very deadly and the wedge is also effective, especially when it comes to self-righting. They are the Battle of the YouTubers champions and did extremely well in the New Blood championships, as well as completely destroying Tsunami in the last wars, and they're definitely one of the top favorites in this semi-final.
Roboteers, stand by.
Spawn again with the CO2 powered flipper in the low front. And Peach, 12th seeds, current Battle of the YouTubers champions with the flipping wedge and the spinning blade. It'll be a test of nippiness and ground clearance in this first semi-final battle.
2, 1. Activate.
Who will have it? Well, apparently a Peach, as they've already gone around to the side of Spawn again, and I think I've already knocked the wheel off, and I've done something to the drive, and already throwing Spawn again up and over, and I think there is a problem with Spawn again right from the start. That one attack, the moment that wheel came off, I think that was when Spawn again lost their drive and are now in trouble and are smoking and have taken more damage. Is there? Well, yes, there is still life. Life being used loosely, if I'm being honest, in this battle, because they've gotten themselves stuck in underneath the angle grinder, and Peach are able to use that to their advantage to get underneath and flip them over. And now Peach, well, I don't think Spawn again are okay, especially not with something smoking. Spawn again crashes into the pit release button. Something's gone flying off of Spawn again. I don't think Spawn again can move. They don't seem to be able to move now. And is Peach gonna try and batter them out the arena? Hope so. Spawn again. They're on fire. And now out they go. That's the end of Spawn again officially. This was the attack, the final charge, the flip and the spin. And over and out goes Spawn again. This is where their run ends. And Spawn again sadly go home, while Peach progresses further into the semi-finals. Commiserations to Spawn again, but a great job getting here, it has to be said, about time too. Peach, they go further, well done to them. And now it's time for the next fight between the Flipper of Aegis with the Kevlar 29 armor and the lethal flywheel of Hypnodisc, which seems far more improved since the last two wars. A surprise for many, I think, but a very good surprise nonetheless. The flip is what helped them get here, and they have shown themselves to be a more serious contender going forward. That is provided, however, that they don't run out of CO2. Hypno Disc Spinner! They wanted to show that they've improved, and that they very much have. They even did serious damage to Rager, which was quite a surprise. The 900 RPM flywheel has definitely become more dangerous and a worry for others in the semis, but there are other deadly spinners in the semis, and the question to ask is how will they stand up to the rest of the competition?
Robot ears, stand by.
Both these machines unseated. Aegis with their CO2 powered flipper and Kevlar 29 heat resistant armor, and Hypnodisc with the lethal flywheel and self-righting bar, which I think the flywheel can actually get through that armor pretty easily.
3, 2, 1, activate.
They'll be able to anyways, unless Aegis can throw Hypnodisc up and over like that, and throw them onto the side, and Aegis, the front's very low, and they can easily get underneath Hypnodisc, no problem. But Hypnodisc can do some damage. Aegis taking a little bit of damage, not enough to worry them, and now out they go! That's the end of Hypnodisc! Almost a very quick fight and a very quick end, but a good reach for Hypnodisc to the semi-finals. But it'll be Aegis progressing further in the semis and look to be genuinely on pretty good form to reach the grand finals. It has to be said, Aegis does look very impressive, far more impressive since the last wars. Hypnodisc did too, but sadly they're out the arena, so they go bye-bye. Commiserations to them. Aegis, they go through. Next up, the newcomers Hive Mind and the ramming machine, Bunker. Hive Mind Spinner. The only newcomer in the semi-finals, and well-deserved too. The Blade and Drive work together to push their opponents and rip them apart, and the Remake helps them out as well. They have done very well for newcomers, and it'll be interesting to see how far they go in this competition. Bunker Rambot. They did very well making the semis, considering the Drive seeming not as impressive as before, but results don't lie as they've won their heat. The hard front wedge is extremely strong and can take the spinning attacks, but how will it do going forward against some of the toughest machines in the series?
Robot ears, stand by.
Hive Mind with the spinning bar, and they've put on their wedgelet configuration. Interesting. Maybe that'll help them against 16 Seeds. Bunker with the tough armor and the very good pushing power and drive.
3, 2, 1, activate.
A lot of experience, Bunker. Fought in the last two wars as Barricade. Actually reached the grand finals of Series 1 with Barricade. The pit's gone down. And Bunker, I should say, seems to be having trouble. What's that on the floor, I wonder? And oh, Bunker in major trouble here. They're caught on the edge of the pit, and Hive Mind have not really had to do much here. And down they go, and that's the end of it. Bunker's in the pit. And Hive Mind going through, in all honesty, fairly effortlessly. They didn't have to do much, just give him a nice push and drop him down the pit. And that was it. Bunker, they're out. No reaching another grand finals for them this series either. they fall into the pit. Hive Mind steals that win and heads on through to the next round. Well done to Hive Mind. They've done very well, let's be honest. And now the final fight of this. Vumitfurt, seed number 27, and Diamond Gutter. Vumitfurt, Spinner. It was thought they could make it out of the heats, and they definitely did just that. The blade and wedge are some of the most effective the series has seen. Despite the strong competition in the semis, I genuinely think that this machine very much could go all the way. Diamond Cutter! Spinner! Despite this being the first time making the semifinals, I'm not overly convinced with their performance. The weapon is fairly effective, yes, and the wedge is just as effective, but the drive doesn't seem as impressive to me as previous entries. But they could still do well and make the grand finals. They've made it this far.
Robot ears, stand by.
Vumitfurt, seed number 27, with the big spinning wheel blade. And Diamond Cutter, with their own spinning egg beater. And they've gone for their wedgelet configuration instead of a wedge.
3, 2,
Against Vumitfurt, that genuinely could be pretty costly, because that gives quite the ground clearance at the front, and something's already shattered from the side of Diamond Cutter already, and now again, and I think that's an entire wheel gone. Vumitfurt driving in, Diamond Cutter up and over. Is there anything to do apart from tear the wheels off of Diamond Cutter, who are struggling to move? And I think there is legitimate problems. Off comes another wheel. They seem to be driving better now, but I don't think Diamond Cutter are okay as that flung to the end of the arena. That's the end of Diamond Cutter. A brutal finish for Vumitfurt as Diamond Cutter crash out over the entry gate. And it's Vumitfurt progressing further on through the semi-finals, and in spectacular fashion too. Diamond Cutter flung out the arena, and in high fashion too. They've done a lot better this time round though, as opposed to the last wars and the first wars with Janky Shanky. Vumitfurt, they go through, and this is how round 2 looks for the semi-finals. Vumitfurt, seed number 27, will be taking on the newcomers Hive Mind later, but first, it's 12th seed Peach taking on the flipper of Aegis.
Robot ears, stand by.
Peach, with the flipping wedge and the spinning blade. And Aegis, with their CO2-powered flipper. Once again, a test of ground clearance. This should be pretty interesting. And I'm wondering if Aegis will be able to pull off against Peach what they did against Hypnodesk, or will our current Battle of the YouTubers champions do to Aegis what they did to Spawn again earlier, and quite clearly it is the latter. And Aegis now on the flames. It's not really going to affect them. As I said, the Kevlar 29 armor does make it heat resistant. Unfortunately, it doesn't make it blade resistant, as Peach is able to get underneath them and use that blade to their advantage. And, well, I don't know why Peach is going for the front, really. You're not going to get underneath them. Their front is lower than yours, but the sides, however, are another story. And up and over goes Aegis, and now will Aegis be going out the arena? Almost. Another push. Gearing up for another charge, and they've squandered a bit. Now they've thrown themselves up and over. But Aegis, there's no movement, there's no drive. I'm fairly certain here that Aegis is immobilized. All their wheels have been knocked off, I think, courtesy of the blade of Peach. Peach doing to Aegis what they did to Spawn again right from the start. Ripping off the wheels and disabling their drive. And now, down goes the pit. And Aegis, well, trying to get themselves away. Peach isn't having any of it. Pushing them down the pit. This is where Aegis' story ends in Series 3. And Peach's story progresses on through to the Series 3 Grand Finals. And a fantastic performance once again. And look to be on top form to be taking home another title, the Series 3 Grand Championship title. Peach goes through to the Grand Finals, well done to them. And who will be joining them? Will it be the newcomers Hive Mind with the spinning bar? Or will it be seed number 27 Vumitford with their spinning blade, who's been here since the very first series of Robot Wars with Pulverizer, the Dutch champions?
Robot ears, stand by.
Hive Mind, now with their wedge configuration, and the spinning bar, the newcomers, and Vumitvert, seed number 27, seem on high to be pulling off what Sub-Zero did in the last wars, but instead of a flipper, with their spinning flywheel blade.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
Quite a story for Hive Mind, really. Newcomers, second round of the semis, and are now tangling with a former Dutch reigning champion. And again, the camera glitches out, and Hive Mind releases the pit. Oh! But Vumitford gets away! And out they go! That's it! Hive Mind's gone! Look at this! They hit the pit release button, Vumitford gets off just in the nick of time, bashes and flings them up into the air and out the arena. That's the end of Hive Mind's run in the semi-finals. And it's Vumitfurt, seed number 27, progressing through to the Grand Finals to join Endgame, Pika, Destroy, and Battle of the YouTubers champions, Peach. An all-spinner affair Grand Final. Aegis broken and destroyed, and Hive Mind catapulted out of the arena. Well done to Peach and Vumitford for making the Grand Finals, and I look forward to seeing the big finale. But until then, take care, and I'll see you next time. Farewell.